Driving through Steamboat Springs, Colorado, I wasn't expecting much. But within a few hours, something really stood out about this town. So this is what I noticed and why I ended up loving this place. So the town gets its name from the early 1800s when a French trapper heard a chugging sound coming from a mineral spring, something they thought sounded like a steamboat. Steamboat's identity today is deeply tied to outdoor recreation. In 1913, Norwegian skier Carl Haraldsson introduced ski jumping to the area, helping establish winter sports culture that defines the town today. Steamboat Springs is known as the Ski Town USA and has produced more Winter Olympians than any other town in the country. But what stood out most to me is how active this place is. Everywhere I looked, people were moving. From running, biking, hiking, either on paved trails or mountain bike paths, everyone in this town is so physically active. There's a huge network of trails and open green spaces. And this entire town is just built around physical activity and outdoor recreation. I saw people rafting on the river and paddleboarding and tubing. And what surprised me even more was the youth involvement. I feel like every kid in this town was part of something, either like basketball, hockey, soccer. Everywhere I go, there was just kids out training or practicing or playing. So this town clearly invests a ton in activity and community, even from a young age. I spent some time at the public library, charging my gear and editing videos. And even that space reflected some of the clean, organized, and welcoming feel you see throughout the town. And in the evenings, the parks came alive. There was adult baseball games and volleyball leagues and people just gathering and hanging out outside. At one point, I was watching this volleyball game and a full-grown bull moose was just casually walking by off in the distance at the base of the mountain. Something I've never seen before. It was so cool to see that. The downtown area has a boardwalk filled with different shops and restaurants and breweries. It leans a little touristy, but in a good way. There's always something going on, it seems like. At night, the town lights up. It feels safe and clean, and it's really well kept. Honestly, it's one of the cleanest towns I've ever been in. So it really feels safe to walk around at night. While I was walking around, I found this cool little karaoke bar called Schmagitti's. And for a Tuesday night, it was surprisingly pretty lively. I can only imagine what it's like on the weekends. I'm sure it's probably pretty hopping. And there's a strong presence of young people here. Overall, it feels like a fun place to be. I saw a lot of people in their 20s and 30s hanging out. And this is just the summertime, so I imagine in the winter it just becomes a full-on ski town with a completely different energy and probably way bigger crowds. But it seems like no matter the season, Steamboat Springs feels like a place built around activity and community and the outdoors. So if you're somebody who loves physical activity and being outside, this is your town. Like, this is the place to be. I will say, though, I do imagine the cost of living in this town are very high. All of the equipment of all that activity, of all the athletic activities like biking gear, mountain biking gear, hiking gear, skiing gear. There were so many Toyota Tacomas and decked out Subarus, roof racks full of kayaks and equipment. And I imagine all of that just costs a ton. So if you're going to live in this town or raise a family in this town, you're definitely going to need to be a high income earner because this is not a cheap place to live from what I saw. So yeah, that's my review of Steamboat Springs. I think it's a beautiful city and I'd highly recommend that you go check it out.